Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to work on the Corona ring, and the Corona ring goes with these beautiful Eclipse earrings that I have a video up for, and I will put a link to these. These beautiful earrings were designed by Renee Wilson, very talented lady, and she was kind enough to let me make a video from her design. So I will, as I said, I'll pop up a link for these, and she was also kind enough to let me play with the component. So I made this necklace pendant, which we are calling the full moon necklace, and then I saw a ring out of it, so I made the Corona ring. So this is the little set here. So let me pull these aside for now. The necklace pendant will be a video coming up soon, but right now we're going to work on this Corona ring. So I named it the Corona ring because it kind of looked like the corona, you know, of the sun over here. So you know, we're keeping in the little celestial theme, so the eclipse theme. So here it is. It's a band ring, and it is made with 11/0 seed beads and 3mm bicones or 3mm pearls, or probably 3mm pretty much anything. We have the one has one line of embellishment here, and then I decided, well, if one is nice, maybe three would be nice. So I did 3 rows of pearls. Both rings get to this point. Then I'll show you how to add the next 2 rows of pearls or bicones. So here it is. All right, so here I'm going to start a materials list right now. We have a little lapis one going on there too. All right, so let's get a materials list going. So you're going to need some 11/0 seed beads, and I'm using the Miyuki metallic bronze or dark gold, whichever one, you know, sometimes it's called both. You're going to need a few 15/0 seed beads. If you're doing the 3 rows, you'll need a few 15/0 seed beads. Not that many, but I'm just going to put them out like that. Okay, you're going to need some 3mm bicones, and I'm using an amethyst bicone here because I made the Eclipse earrings with these amethyst beads, and I just I love it. So I want to make a ring to go with it. So that's why I'm using these. Okay, you're going to need some beading thread. Now, for these 3, I used Wildfire. You can use Fireline. I would probably use 8-pound Fireline. And then I thought I would try it with the Nozu Sunoco thread. And I did post that on Facebook, and I think some of you got excited about using this. I want to tell you that I made a sample with the Nozu Sunoco. I started a sample, and I did not like the way it was coming out. It's too flimsy. This needs to be see how it stays together? This needs to be a solid ring, otherwise the edges are going to curl. So it's not going to work with Nozu Sunoco, unless I'm just, you know, I just had trouble with it. And I haven't used Nozu Sunoco that much, so maybe, you know, those of you out there who use it a lot can get it to work with it. I'm just giving you a heads up on that. You can give it a try, but I'm just giving you a heads up. Did not work for me. All right, size 10 or 11 beading needle, a little stop bead. Grab one here. There you go. All right, so that's what you're going to need. So gather up your materials and we'll get started making this pretty ring. See you in a few. Okay, we're back. So I'm thinking that I'll demonstrate with 8/0s just so it's easier for you to see what I'm doing, and then, you know, construct it as we go with the 11/0s. So for this ring, we're going to make it in 2 pieces, and we're going to attach the 2 pieces with bicones in the middle, and it works out really well that way, and it makes a nice sturdy ring. All right, so this is what we're going for, but I'm just going to put this aside for a second and go with my 8/0 so you can see what I'm doing. So put on about a little over 4 feet of Fireline, and put a stop bead on. Leave about, I'd say about a 10-inch. You want a 12-inch tail because you're going to use that tail. You want one long tail on one of the pieces so you can sew the ring together. So here's my stop bead. I've put on, for my size 8 middle finger. So this is a size 8 here. I have to have a little bigger because I have big knuckles. So to get that ring over, I need a size 8 here, 8.5. I need 40 11/0 seed beads. Of course, I'm using the 8/0s, but 40 11/0s. Now, that's a guide for you. So what you can do is put on your 40 and then wrap it around and see how that goes. If you have a smaller finger, then just put on less. Of course, with the 8/0s, it's big, but so just measure it that way. Make sure the beads come together in the back. You want to make sure they're almost touching in the back. It could be a little bit smaller, but we're going to play with it as we go along. Don't just make it and at the end say it doesn't fit, because you have to, with a ring, when you're a beaded ring, you really have to measure it as you go and adjust it when you can. All right, so that's just a guide for you. Here's my stop bead. I have it at the top there. I'm just going to put it around my finger like this. I'm going to pick up 2 11-ohs. Okay, I'm coming out of here. I'm just going to come down the last 2 beads, just like that. See that? And that's going to put those 2 beads on just like that. Then I'm going to come up the 2 I just put on. Okay. So that's my setup for attaching the rest of the beads. So pick up 1 11-oh, and then here are all your loose beads up here. Just grab a loose bead, come down that loose bead and the bead under it. So you're coming down 2, and then just come to the bead directly across the one you're coming out of. Your thread just about tells you where you are, where to go there. Come up 2. So the whole thing is going to be going down 2, up 2. Pick up 1. Here's a loose bead and the one underneath it, so that's coming down 2 and up 2. Okay, pick up a loose bead, pick up a bead, grab a loose bead, come down that one and the one underneath it, and then up 2, just like that. And it just helps to hold it between your fingers. It keeps it nice and tight. Okay. Pick up a loose bead and the one underneath it, just like that, and then up 2. Pick up a bead, pick up a loose bead and the bead underneath it, so it's down 2. Come on, there you go, and then this bead is not cooperating with me, so go up 2. Let me just pop that one over there. Okay, there you go. Okay, so that's what you're going to do all the way down. Here, I'll do one more because I kind of messed that one up. Come down the loose one and the one underneath it. There we go. And up 2. Okay, one more. Come down 2. And up 2. All right, so just keep doing that until you get the whole strand done. Okay, so you should end just like this, down to up 2. And then meet me back here and we'll go on to the next step. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back and I have my first piece done. And here it is compared to the 11-oh strip. So just at this point, wrap around, make sure your fit is good. If you need to add a few beads, you know, if it's too short, here's your the thread with the stop bead. Just take the stop bead off and add. You can add a couple of beads here. You can add as many as you need here because this is where all your loose beads were, and then this is your, you know, the working thread, so you can always add some on. You can take some off if you pull up this center thread here, and you can pull it out and take a few beads off. But I just want to make sure, make sure that you know what you're doing so you don't just mess that up. So you want to, get as close as possible there. If it's a little short, you can work with it a bit. All right, so here it is. So you're coming out of here. You want to reinforce everybody by going through all your beads again. So come all the way down and then all the way up again. And that's going to, you want this firm. This should be nice and firm. And then I want you to make another strip exactly like this one. Only you don't have to use as much thread because we're going to use this working thread to sew the ring together, to sew the strips together. You don't need it on both sides. You have this thread here to sew the ring together at the end, and this working thread to attach the two pieces. So for your second section, I think you could probably do 2.5 to 3 feet of Fireline. just make sure you have enough to, to get through there. All right, so get that second section done and then meet me back here and we'll start sewing the pieces together. All right, see you in a few. We're back and I have my 2 pieces done, and I just want to show you where we're going. So we're going to sew these 2 pieces together and put some bicones on. So here they are separate. So we're going to sew a number of beads, then we're going to put bicones on, and then we're going to sew the end together. All right. So a little math here for you. To get these bicones or pearls on in the center, just like that, you need 16 beads. You need to use 16 beads in the center of your piece. So it's going to go over a span of 16 beads. So I'm going to give you some numbers to tell you how much to come in. Then you're going to have your 8 bicones, and then we're going to sew these together. All right, so if for my 40-inch or any length, it doesn't matter what the length is, just take your length, so mine's 40. I'm going to subtract 16. I'm going to subtract 16 for the span that the bicones or the pearls are going to go over. So that gives me 24. I'm going to divide it in half, and that means I'm going to come in 12. I'm going to sew in 12 beads before I start my bicones and my pearls. Okay, if you have 44, subtract 16, you have 28, divide in half, you're going to come in 14. So any number, just subtract 16, divide the remainder in half, and that is the number you're going to come in. All right, that being said, you don't have to do that at all if you don't want to. The reason I'm doing that is because I want my join to be in the center, here, underneath. If you just come in, let's say 10, and then you put all your bicones on or your pearls, and then you do the rest, you sew the rest together, that's fine also. Your join at the end is just going to be in a different place. It's going to be maybe here or off here or here. Now, the reason I want it here is because, I'm not perfect at joining. I can always tell where I've joined a little bit, so I don't want that showing over here or here. And I kind of like things centered, so I want that join to be as close to this center right here underneath as possible. That's why I did the math. If you don't want to do the math and you're okay with joining somewhere else, that's not a problem. All right, so that being said, let's pick up our pieces. Just going to hold them like this. So I have my working thread coming out here, and here's my other piece coming out of here. I'm just going to go down 2. And I'll leave the thread path loose so you can see what I'm doing. Down 2. Up 2. So see the thread path right there to start? I'm going to pull it together, and I'm going to come down the 2 again plus 2 more. It's coming down 4 on the other side. See that? All right, and then I'm going to come directly across from where I'm coming out of, come up 2. I'm just sewing them together, and then go directly across again. Your thread almost tells you where to go here. Come down 4. Okay. You're going to come directly across again, up 2, come back, down 4. And you're going to do this until you've sewn your number on. Just make sure that you're going directly across. So here, up 2, and not missing a bead or going a bead lower, because it's very easy to do that. Down 4, up 2. And now I'm going to count and see how many beads. I wasn't counting, so I want to see how many beads I've gone down. I want to make sure I go down my 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm at 10 here. So I'm going to come down 4. It's going to give me my last 2, because I've come down 2 and then 2 more. Then come up 2, just like that. So I'm going to count one more time to make sure I have 12 beads. So you'll see where the 12 beads are sewn on by this thread right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So see, I have 12 beads sewn on because my thread's coming out of here, but I have this is where it's sewn together, just like that. Just come down 2 at this point to get all 12 on. All right, so now I have all 12 of my beads sewn on, and or whatever number you have, go down 1 more. So whatever number it takes you to get to this point, just go down one more bead, because when we put the bicones on, you want a little space here for that bicone to sit properly. All right, so get to this point and then meet me back here and we'll start putting on the bicones of the pearls. All right, see you in a few. Okay, so here we are. So I've got my first number of beads sewn together, and now we're going to start putting on the bicones. So again, this is what it's going to look like. All right, so pick up your piece, just like that. So I'm going to use pearls. I just think you're going to see them better. So you're coming out of bead 13, or an extra bead after you've sewn your number on. So if you've sewn on 12, come out of bead 13. If you've sewn on 14, come out of bead 15. So just going down one bead to fit, just to fit this, to have space to put the pearl on. So make sure that you're coming through, you're going to come through this bead right here, but you want to make sure it's the one directly across the one you're coming out of. It's very easy to mess that up. I know, I've done it. So I'm coming up the bead directly across from the bead I'm coming out of. Okay, that's going to put that pearl on. And then you want to go back directly across the bead you started with and come down 3. So you're going up 1, down 3, just like that. Now, just a little heads up, hold it, make sure that you are coming across the proper bead. So here, see, I'm coming out of this one. I want to pick up a pearl, and I want to come through this one, the one directly across from it, okay? And then I'm going to come back, see how my thread is going over there, and down 3. You want to put these on even. If you don't put them on even, they're going to be all wonky. Pick up a pearl, come directly across the bead you're coming out of, come up 1, down 3. All right, so, and that's going to put the pearls sticking straight up. Now, of course, it looks weird with size 8 seed beads and 4mm bicones, but that's what you're going to do. All right, so I'll do it one more time. Pick up a pearl, come through the bead directly across the one you're coming out of, and make sure that, you know, if you have to count, just make sure that you're coming through the right bead, because with 11-ohs it's going to be a little more difficult to see. Come back across, directly across, come down 3. All right, so that's, see how it sews them on? All right, so do that until you have 8 beads on, and then meet me back here and we'll sew the bottom together. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back, and I have my 8 pearls on. So here's the 11-ohs, and here are the 8-ohs. Just really make sure that you're sewing through the correct beads, because if you're not, you're going to end up with one, you know, not fitting. Everything's not going to fit. So even I've made a few mistakes trying to get it right. So just make sure you have an even number of beads here. So, all right. So here you go. This is what it should look like. This is what the other side should look like. And it should be pretty tight on the other side as well. All right, so you're coming out of this bead right here. So you've gone up 1 and down 3. So you're coming out here. All right. Just with thread, your needle and thread, you know, your working thread, just come up 1, because we want to close off that bit there, and come down the 3, just like that, just to finish the center off, just like that. All right, and then we're just going to do what we did in the beginning. Go up 2, so you're coming out of here, come across, just like that, come up 2, down 4, just like that. We're going to sew it together like we did the other side. Up 2, down 2 plus 2 more, that's 4, up 2, down, here 4, up 2, 4, up 2, and then I think you're going to go down 3 here, just to finish it off. Just like that. All right, so that brings it together. Now you want to come up, just to finish this part off, come up with your working thread, just to end it. Come up a few beads, maybe come up 3, 4, just to get that working thread in there so that the end is so nicely. Now, we're going to add the second and third row of pearls on. If you have enough of your working thread, you can just snake your way through all these beads here and up to this where this pearl is, and then we're going to come out the pearl. I don't, so I'm going to add a thread on. So at this point you can actually sew through your beads and get rid of all these threads. So I'm sewing up a few, down a couple, like that, and then back up, like that. And I'm going to clip that. Now, you can do a half hitch knot here too. I don't think it's a big deal to put a half hitch knot here, so here I'll just put a little one in and see how it looks. I mean, I prefer not using knots if I don't have to, especially on the outside of a ring, but with the 8-ohs it works. So you see how that works with the 11-ohs. But if not, just go up and down so that you really tighten it up. So that's, you know, with that thread, that's the working thread, okay? Now you have all these threads here that are left, whatever end they're coming out of. Keep that one tail thread. Remember from the original strip where I said you have a long, you know, you left a 12-inch tail there. Keep that aside because we're going to use that to sew the ring together. And then just sew in whatever threads you have left. Take off your stop beads and sew them in just like I did with this. And then meet me back here, thread and needle with about, I don't know, a couple of feet of thread, and then we'll add the 2 more rows here to get that center done. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back, and I've sewn in all my ends. I have my one tail piece here that I'm going to use to sew the ring together, and I'm just either add a thread or I added a thread. And I'm just moving my thread till I come out of the seed bead right next to one of the pearls. So here I'm coming out of here. Pull a little bit for that. So here I am coming out of this seed bead. I'm just going to pop through the pearl. So just work your way through till you come out of a pearl, just like that. All right. So I'm just going to hold it this way. And I have, pick up your 15-ohs. So here, I'll take this guy off to show you. So pick up your 15-ohs because we're going to use those in between the rows of pearls. So I'm picking up an 11-oh because I'm making a giant ring. Pick up a 15-oh, a pearl, and a 15-oh. You're coming out of here. Just come through the next pearl and line, just like that. Pick up a 15-oh, a pearl, and a 15-oh. Come on around, back through this one and the 15-oh. Come through the pearl and the 15-oh, the pearl and the 15-oh. So just sort of reinforcing that a little bit to get that first little group on, just like that. Coming out of a 15-oh, pick up a pearl and a 15-oh, come through the next pearl, just like that. Pick up a 15-oh and a pearl, come through the 15-oh, pearl, and the 15-oh, just like that. Back through this pearl, back through the 15-oh, the pearl, and the 15-oh. Just like that. That's making it nice and tight. Okay, do it one more time. Pearl, 15-oh, come through the next pearl, just like that. 15-oh, pearl, come through the 15-oh, the pearl, and the 15-oh, just like that. Come through the pearl and the 15-oh, and then back through the pearl, and this 15-0. So you're just going around and around just to make sure these are nice and tight. Give it a pull, just like that. And then just continue that all the way around, and it's going to make it sit really pretty. All right, so do that until you get to the end, and then meet me back here and we'll sew this thread in. All right, see you in a few. Back for a second because I just want to make sure you get this end down right. So come out of this pearl here, actually. I might have told you to come out this one. Come out of this one. And then just sew this down. So I'm here, just come through these two. Just want you to sew that end down, tack it down, just like that. Come up these two. Come around the pearl again, just like that. Come down a few. Okay. All right. So there you go. Now it's all tacked on nicely. So then get that done. Meet me back here, and we'll sew the ring together. All right. See you in a few. Okay, we're back, and here's my ring. Here's my giant ring. So I'm ready to sew this together. So I'm just going to hold the two ends together here, just like that. So here's my thread coming out of one. And I'm just going to sew up through 2 beads, just like that. Then we're going to sew down through 2, just like that, and then back through 2 on the other side. So I'm just sewing through the join. I'm just using thread here, no beads, and see how that's going to pull it together. Now, just a little heads up here. So I'm going to come up here again. If you've made your ring to this point and for some reason you're a little short, like 1 bead, if you need a little bit more length, you can always pick up a bead before you come through, and that will, on each one, and that way you'll add a bead on, so a little bit more length. You probably could even add 2, but hopefully you won't have to do that, but just in case, you can do that. So before you sew through, just add a bead on. Come through, come down 2, back up. So you're just sewing through the join here. I mean, you can come up 3. I mean, it doesn't have to be 2. Sometimes it's better if you sort of come up an extra one here and then down, 2, then 4. You just want to make sure you've covered that join really well, sort of wove, you weave through the join so that you have a nice, it's nice and tight there. So, it doesn't really matter how many beads you sew through as long as you just keep going through the join, keep going through that join. All right, so here's our giant ring. All right, so let's take a look at our rings right now. We'll clear the decks a little bit. So here it is. Okay, here are the real rings. Oh, here's the one that I was doing along with us when we were, doing this. I was doing this one on the side. So here, I'll pop this on my finger, and that, I love it. I really love these colors. So here you go. Here's the blue one. So here's our Corona ring. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit involved. It's a very simple design, but sometimes the simple designs are the most, can be, a little challenging to make. But stick with it. You can do it. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.